Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this presentation. My name is Sergio. I'm very excited to be here with you, and I'm very glad that you signed up for our open day. In Portuguese, we say bem-vindos, bem-vindos, welcome, welcome to this presentation. The topic of my presentation today is the changing language landscape, the case of Portuguese. I will be telling you a little bit about how languages that have not been traditionally so popular are now gaining space, and Portuguese actually. And I will tell you the courses that we offer here at Hong Kong U Space, the options that you have, and I will also teach you your first words in Portuguese today. So are you ready? So how much do you know about Portuguese? Do you know anybody who speaks Portuguese? Have you been to any country where Portuguese is spoken? Portuguese is a member of the Romance languages. So it has a few sisters. The big sister is Spanish, but it's also related to French, to Italian, Romanian, Catalan. So if you've learned Spanish before, or French, or Italian, then it will help you a lot when learning Portuguese. Of course, there are many things in common, but there are also things that are different. There are some traps there. But if you are familiar with any of the Romance languages, then you will have an advantage when learning Portuguese. Portuguese is one of the 10 most spoken languages in the world. Most people don't realize that Portuguese is actually a language that has many native speakers, and it's also used in quite a few different countries and across different continents. In terms of native speakers, of course, these numbers, it's always hard to give a precise number, but in terms of speakers, Portuguese has around 240 million native speakers, and it's also one of the top 10 languages used online. You can see here there are a lot of articles, websites, and information online in Portuguese. Where is Portuguese spoken? It's actually official language in 9 countries, and it's also official language in Macau, a region of the People's Republic of China, our neighbors. So if you've been to Macau, I'm sure you've had some contact with Portuguese. Portuguese, of course, comes from Portugal, and Portugal has 2 autonomous regions, the region of the Azores and Madeira Island. And then it's spoken in Brazil and in a few countries in Africa, which were Portuguese colonies before, like Cape Verde, Guinea-Bissau, São Tomé and Príncipe, Angola and Mozambique. Angola and Mozambique are the largest with the biggest populations, and Portuguese is also spoken in Asia. So other than Macau, it's also the official language of East Timor. East Timor is a small country. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's near Indonesia, one of the islands of Indonesia. It's an independent country now, and it has Portuguese as an official language. The countries where Portuguese is an official language have formed a community called the Community of the Countries of Official Language Portuguese, and there's a lot of cooperation between them, and also the promotion of Portuguese. So where is it spoken and who speaks it? Here you can see in terms of number of speakers, Brazil is by far the largest. It has over 200 million speakers. Portuguese is the only language used in Brazil, I mean, like for education. And of course, we have many tribes in the Amazon, but in terms of like official language and everyday language in the cities, it's the only language, and the language of education as well, and business, trade, and everything. So, and then in Africa, we have Mozambique and Angola, with big populations. Portuguese is spoken by many different people. As you can see in my picture here, it has many faces. It's not just a European language. It's a language of Latin America. It's a language of Africa. There are many different people who speak Portuguese, so it has many different faces. Portuguese has its own official language. It's the 5th of May. It's the Day of the Portuguese Language. It's International Portuguese Day. On this day, we hold different activities to celebrate the Portuguese language and its culture, music, literature. So it's time for you to learn Portuguese, but why would you choose to learn Portuguese? I have some reasons to show you why learning Portuguese is a good choice. One of them is for business. Brazil is a big trading partner of China. They do, as you can see, billions of dollars in trade every year, and that's just going to grow more and more. Brazil is basically a monolingual country, so if you want to do business with Brazil, you'd better learn Portuguese. English is not spoken widely, so in terms of trade, Brazil is one of the biggest trading partners of China. Also, in Africa, Angola is the second biggest trading partner that China has, and also Angola uses only Portuguese in trade, commerce, business. So this also has a lot of potential for growth. So the use of Portuguese for business and for trade is on the rise. According to a recent report by UNESCO, it's a report from 2015, they looked into emerging economies and the ones with the biggest potential for growth. And based on this report from UNESCO, there was an article in the Washington Post. It was an article about the future of language and how what languages will become more important in the future, or what languages should you learn if you're thinking about using that as a tool to improve your CV or to enhance your chances of employment. So the article says that a lot of people speak English and Spanish around the world, so should we bother learning other languages? And according to the UNESCO report, you see that in terms of demographics, the countries where Portuguese is official language, the tendency is for the population to grow. So it's up there in the top 6 or 7 most spoken languages in terms of population and with the highest potential for growth. So according to the article, if you're looking into learning a language as an investment, your aim is to learn a language that will help you get a better job or have more job opportunities, Portuguese is definitely one of them. Portugal has started a scheme by which people can, through investment, get residency in Portugal. It's called the Golden Visa scheme. If you invest in property or you open a business to generate employment in Portugal, you are eligible for residency. Once you have permanent residency in Portugal, you can apply for Portuguese citizenship. If you become a Portuguese citizen, then you have access to all of the countries in the European Union. So it's a scheme that's very attractive to many people, but there is a catch. You have to take an exam in Portuguese. You will have to pass the level A2 exam. Level A2 means you will need to study Portuguese for around 2 years at least, according to the European framework of language proficiency. There are different levels. So basic level is level A1, and then we have level A2. The Portuguese government require all persons applying for Portuguese citizenship to pass the exam, at least the level A2. So in order to prepare for these exams, you can take Portuguese classes. The time is around 2 years of study. So if you decide to learn Portuguese, you may be wondering, you may be asking yourself, is Portuguese hard to learn? I'm scared, maybe it's very difficult. Well, let me show you some facts, and hopefully you will see that it's not that difficult. According to some language learning websites, there are some languages that are closer to English, and if you speak English already, then it will be easier for you to learn these languages, and Portuguese is one of them. There are many things in common in terms of vocabulary, okay? And also some aspects of grammar. So of course it's different, but there are many things in common, which makes it easier for somebody who speaks English to learn. Let me show you some examples. There are many words that are very, very similar to words in English. So actually you already have a big vocabulary that you could transfer to Portuguese by just making a few changes here and there. We call these words cognates, words that look very similar and share the same meaning. So look at my list here. Can you try and guess what is televisão? What do you think the word televisão means? If you guessed television, you're right. Televisão is Portuguese for television. See, just a little change and we have the English. How about humano? Humano. In Portuguese, the H at the beginning of a word has no sound. So we say humano, humano. If you just take one letter, change the pronunciation a little bit, and you have human. So very similar. How about promoção? Promoção. You see the C with a little tail that changed the C, the sound from K into S, S. So this is promoção. Promoção. Can you guess the English equivalent? If you've guessed promotion, you're right. You see how similar it is. How about música? Música. Again, if you just drop one letter and remove the accent, you have music. So very similar. How about the last one? Universidade. Universidade. What is that in English? Just change the end a little bit and you have university. So there are certain principles here that we can apply to actually a large number of words. So like I said, you actually already know a lot of Portuguese, you just didn't know it. Portuguese is a language that can also it works well with the principle of 80-20. I don't know if you've heard of this. The idea is that you focus on the 20% most common words of a language, the most used words and expressions. So you focus your energy on those 20% of the vocab of the language. And with the 20% that you've learned, you can already understand about 80% of that language. So in a short time, actually, you can start to understand a lot of Portuguese. You can progress quite fast. So how can we help you? How can Hong Kong Youth Space help you in your journey to learning Portuguese? So we actually offer a few options. If you go to our website, our European languages web page, you can find more information. I'll show you now a little bit more. So for those who want to start slow and take it easy, you want to have a taste, you don't want to take any exams, then you may consider our short course, Beginner's Portuguese. It's a 30-hour course. It runs for 10 weeks, so 10 meetings of 3 hours each meeting. There is no formal assessment, so there's no exam. Okay? The pace is slower, more relaxed, and you will be learning the basics of Portuguese in this course. The material that we use for this course is the textbook called Passo a Passo in Português. Passo means step, so step by step. Passo a passo. You will start from the beginning slowly and build your knowledge. So we have a few beginners courses. This would be the first one. So in this course, you will learn how to introduce yourself and how to introduce somebody else. You will learn to say your name, your age, your marital status, your nationality, where you come from, the languages that you speak, where you live, what job you have, what you do, and how to ask for and to give phone numbers. And you'll also learn greetings for informal and formal situations as well. So this is the content for the beginners course. So let's say if you want to tell your age, you need to know numbers, for example. So you'll be learning numbers. If you want to talk about your address, you have to say 15th floor. So you learn the ordinal numbers, etc. You will learn the names of countries, nationalities. So there's a lot actually in here, but the pace is slower, more laid back, and there is no formal assessment. There will be plenty of opportunity for you to practice speaking, reading, writing, and listening as well. This is a page from the textbook that we use, Passo a Passo. So introducing yourself. In the series, you will follow this family, Afonso, Juan, André, and Leonor, in different situations, and you'll learn Portuguese with them. If you are more interested in something more serious, let's say, and your aim is to prepare for the exam, the proficiency exam, then you may consider our long course. We offer the A1 course. It's a certificate in Portuguese, introductory. So this is a bigger commitment. The course is 120 hours. It runs for 40 weeks. So it's also one meeting per week, 3 hours every time. And it's also in the evenings. The time is 6:45 p.m. to 9:45 p.m., both for the beginner's course and the long course. This course is CEF reimbursable. So if you qualify for that, you pass the test, the exams, you can also apply for CEF reimbursement. For this course, we use a different textbook. It's called Português século XXI, Portuguese for the 21st century. It also has a student book and a workbook. And the course starts in September and ends in June normally, whereas the short courses will last for about 3 months. We have 3 intakes every year. So the short courses offer you more options. For this one, right now we have the coming intake in September. That's a 1-year commitment. But in this course, you'll be learning then all the content for the level A1 of the European framework. So for example, for the first unit, you will learn introductions and greetings. So all of the content of the short course, the beginner's one, is actually covered in unit 1 of the long course. And then you learn to talk about the house, describing the house, different types of houses, ordering at a cafe, a restaurant, shopping, going to a bank, post office. You learn to tell the time, talk about holiday plans and free time activities. That's all using the present tense, and the vocab, the grammar that goes with that. Then we'll learn how to see the doctor, talk about how you feel, any problem that you have, and giving advice. So we'll learn the imperative that we also use for giving directions. How can I go to the train station? Things like that. Then we'll learn the simple past tense. Number 8 here. In English you have the present perfect, but in Portuguese we use the simple past for that. And you'll also learn about Portuguese culture. For example, tourada, the bullfights. The Portuguese also have that. So together with the vocab, the grammar, we'll also be learning Portuguese culture. We'll learn to plan and talk about parties, a birthday party, for example. We'll learn how to write emails, letters, postcards to friends. We'll learn about professions and how to describe your strengths, your skills. And we'll also learn to talk about the past when you were a kid, how things were in the past and now. I'll show you now one page from the book. So through dialogues, you learn the grammar, the pronunciation, the vocab, etc. So it's a very good material. Now, some of you out there may be wondering, I've heard that there is Brazilian Portuguese and European Portuguese. Are they different? Is it really the same language? Well, just like English, you have British English, American English, Australian English, of course. There are differences in pronunciation given the geographical locations of Portugal, Brazil. It's natural. And there are some differences in the vocab, but these are small. Over 90-something% of the vocabulary is exactly the same, actually. And there are some minor differences in grammar, but it's really not a problem. So you can see here, I have some words that are used in Brazil and the words that are used in Portugal. So some of them are quite different, but it's actually a very small part of the vocabulary. And how do we solve this? Well, actually, we use European Portuguese for our courses. The textbook and the materials are all produced in Portugal, but the teacher is from Brazil. So if you're interested in Brazilian Portuguese, it's not a problem. If you're interested in European Portuguese, it's not a problem because we cover both. If there is interest in only one variety, let's say right now the course that I'm teaching, the students are interested in European Portuguese. So that's the variety that we teach. So the conclusion to that article that I showed you was there is no one single language of the future. There are quite a few, so you have to think about it and make that decision. Now, I'm going to teach you your first Portuguese words. I will teach you how to introduce yourself in Portuguese. In Portuguese, we say eu sou o Sérgio. Introduce yourself. You can try at home. Eu sou o Sérgio. I am Sérgio. My name is Sérgio. Do you know Cristiano Ronaldo, the famous Portuguese footballer? So he would introduce himself by saying, eu sou o Cristiano. This is Sara Sampaio. She's a famous Portuguese model. Sara would say, eu sou a Sara. So if you are a man, you say, eu sou o, and then your name. If you are a woman, you say, eu sou a, and then your name. Now we'll learn how to say where you come from. Eu sou o Sérgio, sou de São Paulo. Eu sou o Sérgio, sou de São Paulo. So you can try at home. Eu sou o, if you are a woman, you say a. Eu sou a, sou de São Paulo. If you are from Hong Kong, you say, eu sou o, por exemplo, aqui nós temos o Big Potato. Eu sou o Big Potato. Sou de Hong Kong. Em português, o H não tem som no começo da palavra. So, Hong Kong, Hong Kong. No sound at the beginning of the word. So, again, you can try. Eu sou o. If you are a woman, you say a. Eu sou a. And then your name. Eu sou o Sérgio. Sou de São Paulo. I'm from São Paulo. When you meet someone, you say, muito prazer. Muito prazer. Eu sou o Sérgio. Muito prazer means nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Muito prazer. In Portuguese, we have different ways of saying thank you. If you are a man, you say obrigado. But if you are a woman, you say obrigada. So to thank someone, you have to think about who you are, not who you're talking to. If you are a man, you always say obrigado. Obrigado. If you are a woman, you say obrigada. When somebody says obrigado, obrigada to you, you answer by saying de nada, de nada. All this talking is making me hungry. How about we learn some Portuguese words for food and drink? The Portuguese have so many delicious dishes. I'll be hungrier after this. Let's start with drinks. The Portuguese love to drink wine. Portuguese wine is quite famous. The Portuguese have this white wine that's quite popular. It's called vinho verde. So in Portuguese, we call it green wine. Vinho verde. And the Portuguese also love to drink beer. Cerveja, cerveja. Do you prefer vinho verde or cerveja? In Portugal, you have both. The Portuguese also love to eat cod fish. Dried cod in Portuguese is bacalhau. Bacalhau. They use the dried cod to make these croquettes called bolinho de bacalhau. So how about cerveja with your bolinho de bacalhau? Some beer with your bolinho de bacalhau. I think that would be good. How about some dessert now? Who'd like some pastel de nata? Pastel de nata. Pastel de nata is a Portuguese delicacy that has spread around the world, basically, I would say. In Portuguese, we call it pastel de nata. Pastel de nata. So you can start with vinho verde or cerveja. Then you can have some bolinhos de bacalhau, bolinho de bacalhau. And you can end with pastel de nata for your dessert. let's see how much attention you were paying to my talk. I have some questions for you now. I want you to say whether you think they are true or false. Verdadeiro ou falso. You can type in our chat box T or F, or V for verdadeiro and F for falso. So, Portuguese is related to French, Spanish, and Italian. Verdadeiro ou falso? True or false? Portuguese is related to other languages such as French, Spanish, and Italian. If you answered true, you were correct. Portuguese is part of the Romance language family. So if you've learned French or Italian or Spanish before, then it will be much easier to learn Portuguese. Portuguese is one of the 10 most spoken languages in the world. Is that verdadeiro or falso? What do you think? If you answered verdadeiro, you are right, it's true. Portuguese is one of the most spoken languages in the world. Portuguese is spoken in Europe and South America only. Is that true or false? Verdadeiro ou falso? If you answered falso, you're right. It's not only in Europe or in South America. Portuguese is actually spoken in almost all of the continents. It's spoken in Portugal, in Europe. It's spoken in Brazil, in South America. It's spoken in Africa and also in Asia, in East Timor, close to us actually. Portuguese has many words that are similar to English. Is that verdadeiro ou falso? If you answered verdadeiro, you were right. There are many words in English actually that were borrowed from French or from Latin, and then they are quite similar to words in Portuguese. Remember, we saw música, televisão, informação, oceano, promoção. So if you know English, it will be a lot easier to expand your Portuguese vocabulary. Most of the words used in Brazil and in Portugal are not the same. They are quite different. Verdadeiro ou falso? True or false? If you answered false, you were correct. Actually, most of the words are the same. Right? The vocabulary is very similar. We can talk to each other, no problem. Of course, there are some words that are different, but it's a very small percentage. May the 5th is celebrated as the Day of the Portuguese Language. Is that true or false? Verdadeiro ou falso? Portuguese has its own day? Verdadeiro, true. The United Nations has chosen May the 5th as the Day of the Portuguese Language and Culture. In Portuguese, men and women say thank you differently. The word for thank you is different. If you are a man, you say one way. If you are a woman, you say it another way. Is that true or false? Verdadeiro ou falso? Do you remember? If you said true, you were correct. If you are a woman, you say obrigada, obrigada. If you are a man, you say obrigado, obrigado. Okay? So it's who you are. If you are a man, you always say obrigado. If you're talking to a woman, you're talking to another man, it's always obrigado. If you are a woman, you always say obrigada, no matter who you're talking to. Okay? Obrigada, obrigado. All of you are going to sign up for one of our courses, either the short course, the Beginner's Portuguese, the 30-hour one, or the long course, the A1 course, the 120-hour one in September. Verdadeiro ou falso? True or false? If you answered true, then you are correct, right? I think the answer should be true. We are waiting for you. We're very excited. I personally am an enthusiast of learning languages, and I am very proud of the Portuguese language and heritage, and I am always very excited to share it with others. So this is all I had for this morning. Obrigado. Thank you very much for signing up, for joining us. And if you have questions, you can send them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Please get in touch. If you would like more information, you can go to our website, and you can also call the number 2975 5764. That's the number of our office, the people in charge of the Portuguese program. I'm going to repeat the number: 2975 5764. So if you'd like to get in touch at any time, we'll be happy to hear from you. And right now, we will open the space for your questions. You can send them through the chat. Obrigado. Okay, so we have some questions here. I have the question, is there any entry requirement for English if I choose introductory Portuguese, so the long course? No, there is no requirement, but the course is taught in English. Okay? The course is taught in English, I mean in Portuguese, of course, mainly. But if there are certain aspects of grammar or vocab that the teacher needs to explain better, then English will be used. Okay? The teachers don't speak Chinese, sadly. So you don't have to be proficient in English, but the course is taught in Portuguese with some English when necessary. Okay? So it's not a requirement. You don't need to be proficient in English, but if you're more familiar with English, it will be better. It will help you more. The colleagues, I would say, that I'm teaching a course right now, and the colleagues are very supportive. So there are people who speak very good English and who speak Cantonese. So if you feel that you'd like to have that explanation again in Cantonese, I'm sure a classmate would be happy to do that. I see that all the time. People are very helpful and friendly, so I wouldn't think that it's a problem if you're not that confident with your English. Another question is about the next intake. So I don't have the exact day right now for the course to start, but it will be in September. Okay, so very soon we'll be releasing the dates. We're finalizing the exact dates. It will be probably during the week, so weekday evening. Let's say, for example, a Tuesday evening or a Wednesday evening, 6:45 to 9:45 p.m. And the course will start in September. So I don't have the exact date again, but you can go to our website. There's more information there, and you can always email the office or call, and they will give you more information. So right now, you just need to keep checking the website because we'll be updating it very soon. The next intake for the short courses are also September towards the end of September, usually a little bit later than the long course. So the A1, the introductory, the certificate course, that starts in early September usually. The short course, the beginner's one, the 30-hour course, it starts a little bit later in September, and that runs for 3 months only. And that's the next intake. Okay, so the day and the time, another question, again, I just mentioned. Right now, we don't have the exact date pinned down because we are finalizing everything, but I can tell you for sure that it will be a weekday in the evening, probably Tuesday and Wednesday. If we have, say, if we open 2 classes, then probably, say, Tuesday and Wednesday. Right now, the A1, the current A1 course that I am teaching, we have a group on Monday and another one on Thursday. So Monday and Thursday, 2 different groups. The next intake will probably be Tuesday and Wednesday. There may be a possibility that we offer one on Saturday during the day, but we don't know yet, okay, as of now. The course is face-to-face. We don't offer online lessons. Considering the circumstances right now, that it's due to the pandemic, we don't know what's going to happen. Last year, we had to stop lessons. For the short courses, we moved to online learning, but just because of the circumstances. So normally, it's a face-to-face course. For the long course, the CEF-approved course, the government does not allow online teaching, but because it was an extended period of class suspension, we applied for a special permission, and we did have some lessons online through Zoom, but that was an exceptional situation. So the courses are face-to-face. We normally hold them in Causeway Bay. We use the Causeway Bay campus. I don't know if you've been. It's easy access by bus, by MTR. It's on Leighton Road. That's where we normally have the Portuguese courses. Some more questions. Okay, again about the Zoom. So Zoom is only if we cannot have face-to-face. Okay? All the lessons are in person, face-to-face. There are no plans to offer online lessons. That would happen only and if only there is another wave of the pandemic and the government decides to stop face-to-face classes. Another question, a very good one. Do I have to pass a public exam in order to get reimbursement? So a public exam would be from an outside examination center. So in that case, no, not a public exam. The public exam is required by the Portuguese government, for example, if you are applying for citizenship. For the long course, the A1 course, to get the reimbursement, you need to pass the internal exams. We have the Hong Kong SPACE assessment. There are 2 exams, 2 written exams, where you have listening, you have reading, you have writing. And at the end of the course, there is also a speaking exam. So we have 3 exams, plus homework, classroom participation, quizzes. So you need to get at least 50% of that. That's a pass. And you must attend at least 27 sessions out of the total 40. So for the long course, 120 hours, we have 40 sessions. And the minimum requirement is 27 sessions for you to qualify for the CEF reimbursement. Okay? So public exam would be something from outside, from the university in Lisbon. That's only for the Portuguese government. For the CEF, it's only the internal assessment, the exams that we have, that we offer. Another question I talked about already, the location. So we have quite a few different locations, but usually Portuguese is offered in Causeway Bay. We've actually talked about with the program coordinator of maybe offering a class on the Kowloon side, probably the Kowloon Bay campus, but it's not confirmed yet. We need to look into interest and the number of applications that we receive. So as of now, the course will be in Causeway Bay, Leighton Road, but there is a possibility that we may offer one class in Kowloon Bay as well, but it's not confirmed. Okay, we will be looking into that. The CEF reimbursement is only for the long course, the introductory program, the long course that is 120 hours. This course is qualified for the CEF reimbursement. The short courses, they're only 30 hours each. They don't qualify for reimbursement. They are not under the CEF scheme. So if you choose the short courses, it's a slower pace, it's more relaxed, there's no formal assessment, but they're not under the CEF scheme, so you wouldn't get any refund for that. Only for the A1 course, the long course, and like I said, you need to pass the internal exams, right? It shouldn't be a problem, I think, to pass them. If you would like to have more information, please contact our program team. You can use the number that I gave you. I'm going to repeat. And also you can do a quick Google search, Hong Kong U SPACE Portuguese, and you'll find very easily the email and also the phone number. But I'm going to repeat the phone of the office. You can call anytime. They're very friendly and helpful. We'll be happy to hear from you. So you can reach us on the phone 2975 5764. I'm going to say that again. It's 2975 5764. Or do a quick Google search, email us, get in touch. We'll be happy to hear from you. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Obrigado, and I look forward to seeing you in one of our programs.